And then Conte also spoke about Alvaro Morata, and it didn't sound good. It didn't sound good at all. Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea from a preview of the Chelsea versus West Bromwich Albion game, with the kickoff being on Monday 8 PM UK time at Stamford Bridge. But first of all, and before getting into the preview, thank you guys so much for 50,000 subscribers. I think it was Tuesday when we hit that milestone. I can honestly not thank you enough and tell you how much this means to all of us. Everyone that has been involved with the channel along the way played their part, and we all worked our asses off to get here really. And to be honest, your support and encouragement is what really keeps us going and what really keeps us working hard to just make the best content for you lot. To be honest, I would have liked to hit that milestone under different and better circumstances than losing 4-1 to Watford, because at the end of the day, I'm a Chelsea fan first and foremost, and the team doing well is what's most important to me. But hitting 50k subs is still a great achievement for us, and we're very happy and proud. We will keep going, and we would like to hit 75,000 subscribers by the end of April. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. And yeah, we'd massively appreciate that. But now actually getting into the preview and speaking about our opposition, West Bromwich Albion. Well, they aren't exactly looking great, to be honest. They're bottom of the table in 20th with 20 points from 26 games. They've only scored 21 goals and conceded 37, which actually is less than quite a few teams a lot higher up the table than them. But they've only won 3 games all season, drawing 11 and losing 12. Their recent results obviously they aren't great, but maybe not as bad as you might think. Yes, they lost 3-2 against Southampton and 3-0 to Man City, but before that they beat Liverpool 3-2 at Anfield in the FA Cup, with a 1-1 draw against Everton and a 2-0 win over Brighton in the lead up to that. While their last league win before beating Brighton came back in August when they won the first 2 games of the season, so recently they have arguably been slightly better than throughout the rest of the season basically. As far as I could find out, Nacer Chadli and Jake Livermore seem to be their only injuries at the moment. They did pick up some injuries against Southampton in the last game, but according to their manager Ellen Pardew, they should be fit, so we'll have to wait and see. The danger men you'd have to say are the top scorer Salomon Rondon and Jay Rodriguez, both on 4 goals, and probably also Chris Brunt with 5 assists. Recently, West Brom have always gone with a 4-4-2 formation. Let's see if they stick to that, or whether they will change to a 3 or 5 at the back, like most teams do against us. Let's hope they stick to a 4-4-2, because we find it a lot easier to play against teams that, play with a 4 at the back formation. But now coming to Antonio Conte's pre-match press conference, and there have been some big news coming up. Starting it straight off with injury news. Conte said there are no new injuries, and he said Pedro is fine and okay to play according to Conte after he obviously had to come off against Watford. Quite surprising for me actually, because that injury did look quite serious when he had to come off. Speaking about Andreas Christensen, the boss said he didn't train with the rest of the team, but he did train. Conte hopes that he can count on Christensen on Monday, because he is a very important player for us. So basically he didn't train with the rest of the squad today, but he is back in training, and hopefully he will train with the rest of the team over the weekend. For some reason, none of the journalists at the press conference asked about Barkley's hamstring injury that obviously kept him out of the Watford game, and also about Alonso, who supposedly missed the game with a minor groin injury. So I have no idea what the situation with them two is. We'll have to wait and see. And same really goes for Emerson. He obviously made the bench last week, but we got no update on his fitness situation and whether he could start if Alonso is still out. And then Conte also spoke about Alvaro Morata, and it didn't sound good. It didn't sound good at all. Morata is still out for the game on Monday. Giroud is in contention to start on Monday, but Conte does not know how long Morata will be out for. He said they haven't found a solution for Morata's back pain yet. And he's been out with that for a fair while now. And Conte actually said he could be out for 1 more day, for 1 month, for 2 months, or even until the end of the season. He simply doesn't know. And that sounds very, very worrying to me. And makes the decision to let Batshuayi leave on loan even more questionable in my opinion. We should have brought a striker in and kept Batshuayi if we basically don't know how long Morata is going to be out for. What if he misses the rest of the season? We have to go the rest of the season with Giroud. Could have done with Batshuayi there as well. Maybe we couldn't have gotten Giroud then, because obviously there's love triangle move. But, Giroud is good, he's a good target man, but there's other ones out there. Like, it's more important to have 2 strikers to get Giroud himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Bit questionable. And when Conte was actually asked about exactly that, well, his demeanour suggested that he might agree that loaning out Michi wasn't the greatest of ideas. He said the transfer window is over now. We took this decision, and now there's no point in, saying and thinking what we could or couldn't have done differently. All he said, now we have to try and finish the season off as well as possible and not regret anything. And obviously, he's right there. It's done and dusted now, but it's still questionable why we loaned out Michy Batshuayi, because, we just loaned him out just over a week ago. So surely we knew that we don't know how long Morata is going to be out for. So very questionable in my opinion. But continuing on with the press conference, Conte gave the players 3 days off after the Watford game. Conte explained that he did so because this is the first time this season really that we could give the players some rest, and it was important for them, and I completely agree with that. Although you'd think, well, after a 4-1 defeat by against Watford, a manager like Conte would, if anything, drill them even harder. But, he gave them 3 days off. Apparently, Gary Cahill asked for 3 days off rather than 2 days off. Obviously, Gary Cahill is the captain, so when he asked for it, it's mainly the whole team asking for it. And he granted them that, which, I'd say is fair enough. Let's hope, they haven't been out of it too long and they still get enough training in, obviously, with the game being on Monday. But I think generally it is a good idea, clear your mind after that bad defeat and, just get the little bit of freshness and sharpness back in, because we've clearly been lacking that recently. On the recent poor results, Conte said in every situation, positive and negative situations, you have to divide the responsibility between Conte himself, he said, me, the players and the club. When it's going well, but also when it's not going well. And I couldn't agree more. When it's not going well, everyone blames the manager. When it's going well, everyone says, oh, the players are so great. Obviously, last season with us, because Conte changed the formation, it was more for the manager, praise. But generally, when a team isn't doing well, it's always the manager to blame. When a team is doing well, oh, Hazard is great, or, De Bruyne is great, or whatever. It's always everything. It's always the manager, the players, and also the club. The transfer policy, and everything evolving around it. It's always everything, including the fans as well. On the fans in the ground, both home and away, continuing to support Conte, singing his name, Conte said he wants to thank the fans. From the start of his experience at Chelsea, the fans have stood behind him in every game and they continue to do so. The boss said he's very proud and happy about that. He went on to saying that the fans deserve the best, and together with the players, he will try everything to give the fans the best satisfaction. And hearing that just warms my heart, really. No matter if I disagree with some of the decisions he's made, whether that's, formation-wise or, the players he picks, that's the kind of thing I want to hear. No matter what everything evolves around it, I don't want to hear moaning a press conference about the board, because it won't change anyway, especially with Roman and Marino Granovskaya. Moaning won't make them do more. If anything, it will, make them do less. But, that's the kind of thing I want to hear. It just warms my heart a little bit. I hope it does for you as well, to be honest. Then Conte was actually asked if he has thought about changing the system like he did after the Arsenal game last season. And he said he changed the system during the Watford game, and he changed it forward at the back. Not the first time that he's done that during a game, like, if you watch my reviews, you would know. But we conceded 3 goals in 8 minutes, Conte said. And he doesn't actually think that that was a good idea to change the system, because obviously we conceded 3 goals in 8 minutes. And I mean, you get his point, and it's kind of difficult to argue that. But changing to 4 at the back during a game, when you're already down to 10 men, isn't exactly the best representation of how well a different system could work. But like I said, it's hard to argue conceding 3 goals in 8 minutes, to be fair. But like I said, not the best representation. And maybe try it again when you have 11 players on the pitch and prepare the game like that would be my shout. But that basically does confirm, him saying that it wasn't a good idea. That he will not move away from the 3 at the back systems anytime soon, probably. But that's it from Antonio Conte's pre-match press conference. And now, if you watched these previews before, you'd know that this is the time I start speaking about Chelsea and the lineup I think we will and should go for. Because we're playing on Monday again though, I decided to split this preview into 2 parts and will upload a more detailed predicted lineup along with what I'd like to see us go for and do. I will upload that tomorrow. So make sure you catch that video, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell button so you don't miss any of our future videos, especially the one tomorrow obviously. But that's really it from me. Again, thank you guys so much for 50,000 subscribers. It really does mean a lot to us. Leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Don't forget to check out my social media, which is Laos1507 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me there. Also follow the channel's social media down in the description below, or the links to that, the Twitter, the Instagram, everything. Just check it out there and follow us over there. And also, again, if you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe. We would like to hit 75,000 subscribers by the end of April. So like I said, I keep repeating myself. But anyway, if you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.